like deja vu. I see it all the time. Yeah.
Alright. Bel-Air, Season 2, Episode 8, Pursuit of Happiness. Viv is doing her own PR work for the disastrous Instagram Live she put out the other day. Disastrous for the Neiman Fellowship. And while she is apologizing, she is standing by what she said, despite the harm it may have caused. Ashley gets a line in the scene, which is cute. And it seems that her and Will don't think that she should apologize.
I don't think she should apologize either.
I would agree. I mean, you said what you said. Stand by it.
Yeah. Ashley was speaking a lot this episode, actually.
She was. And I didn't realize that at this point because it was literally the first scene, but I thought that was going to be her only line and then
nope.
Move on.
Gotcha.
I will make another Ashley joke later on. Uncle Phil walks in and Will tries to make a beeline for the door to get to the gym, and Phil wants to talk. In this talk, Phil decides he's going to be hands-off and let Will decide when Phil intervenes. Knowing Will, this is a stupid idea, but at least this eases the stress of Phil from the endless cycle of fighting and making up with Will that has been this entire series.
It's not stupid. It's not stupid. Let me give you some game, Josh. Mm-hmm. When you have a kid, right? And that kid becomes of an age where it can communicate back and forth with you. There's going to be something. Maybe it's turning off a light when you leave the bathroom. Maybe it's getting too close to the television while you're watching TV. Maybe it's running through the house screaming at the top of your lungs like Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. But there's going to be something that you tell that kid to do.
Wild Thornberries reference?
I did.
Crazy.
I did.
Crazy.
But there's going to be something that you tell that kid to do every damn day. Day in, day out, by the hour. You could probably count it. You can make notches on the wall. Okay? And you're going to tell them every day. And it's going to be, every time you do it, it's going to be like you told them for the first time.
That's crazy. Okay?
What Uncle Phil is experiencing is the fuck it moment in that saga, right? Where I have said all that I'm going to say to you, do what you want. Do what you want. You let me know when you need me. Because clearly nothing I'm saying to you is getting through. It's not penetrating.
I get it, and I don't disagree with any of that, actually. I just think Will should not be in charge.
No, because you big and bad. And I'm trying to protect you from what you can't see or what you don't know, but you don't want that. So I'm going to give you what you say you want and then watch you fail with it.
Fair enough. Carlton walks in and Will finally makes that beeline, and Carlton is once again upset that the parents end up supposedly taking Will's side. Oh, and bro's nose is bleeding out of nowhere now. From too much blood.
No, not out of nowhere.
From too much blood.
Out of coke usage.
Yes.
Out of cocaine usage.
Yeah, from that white girl. Absolutely.
I also vaguely... can you run me through the series of events that led Carlton and Will to be arguing? Because in my mind, I remember the video coming out, Carlton automatically thinking it was Will, and then them arguing about it back at the house, right? Mm-hmm. Is that all, or did I miss something that happened, something else?
That is all, but Will found out that it was Drew.
Okay, so I'm really trying to figure out why the beef is consistent between them two. Like, you were looking at him sitting there speaking while that airdrop came through. What is and then for Will to be so mad about it too at a certain point in this episode, I'm like, what? Are we manufacturing beef right now?
I would say there shouldn't be a beef. It should be, at the very least, Carlton might be a little mad, but there should not be a beef here. Absolutely.
And then even with Will, it's like, okay, I can understand from Carlton's standpoint if he honestly believes that. I don't know why, but if he honestly believes that, I would be pissed too. But then Will, what is your reason for staying in your madness even after an apology is made? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Sober Jackie shows up before the first game to wish Will luck and to thank him for getting her home. Will is understanding, and coincidentally, Jackie is here to share a little bit more of herself right before the first game. I thought that was weird.
She trying to tell Will, hey, look, I'm setting you the fuck up, and my uncle about to... You need to get out of here. You need to go back to Bel-Air. Go back to Bel-Air, nigga. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to save you. But no. William picks this night, of all nights, to go gallivanting with one of his ex-flings.
Wow. Will then asks about why Brian is gone, and she states that she'll explain that later as well. Doc shows up and asks about the convo they just had, and Jackie says to not worry. Doc wants to make sure she doesn't say too much. Sketchy as fuck, but you've already explained why it's sketchy.
It's sketchy, yeah, been sketchy.
Jeffrey and Phil show up to Will's first game, and G thanks Phil for setting up everything with his son. He also convinced Phil that he's 100% back to murder anyone who crosses Phil's path, because what is a family hitman for anyway? Property manager.
I didn't hear none of that.
That's what he does. That's what Jeffrey does. He's the family hitman. He takes care of shit. Don't look at me like I'm crazy.
Over under 5 bodies. Over under 5 bodies that Jeffrey has picked up for the Banks family.
Realistically, if we're talking about a real Jeffrey, it'd be less. But nah, in this case, he's definitely got over 5 for sure.
I don't think he has over 5.
He's got over 5. Well,
the only one that you have good reason to say he picked up is the dude from Philly that was pressing Will. Because we never saw that nigga again, like ever. He never showed up again.
Truth be told, we haven't seen Will's dad again.
I don't think they did nothing to Lou. Lou said he wasn't coming around no more, and Will don't want him there, so it's, you know.
I'll tell you why I think that in just a second. Once I make this joke. Well, once I make a joke here in a few minutes. A guy asks why Will picked his jersey, number 14, and he says that he was born on the 14th at 4:14 p.m. and that he's been balling ever since. Corny. Corny as fuck. That was corny.
My son was born on November 11th at 11:18, but I feel like tweaking the story just a little bit and telling him he was born at 11:11 so that he can pick 11 because that was my number in high school as well.
That would be hard.
Keep the legacy going. I gotta put some stank on it though. Like I gotta be like, boy, you was born on 11/11 at 11/11, and my number was 11. You gotta get 11.
Until his mom walks in and says it was 11:18 actually. Coco Jones is in bed reading texts from Jazz, and the influencers from the house barge in to clean her room and pick her clothes. Apparently, Coco Jones ain't made it out of bed yet. Amongst thanking Coco for getting the house where it needs to be, we get our first Simply Spiked mention, which ties them up 1-to-1 Ashley lines and Simply Spiked mentions. I'm counting it now. The camera picks up a guy in the crowd at the game, which at this point I have no idea who he is, but I felt like they were showing him enough. He's probably going to be somebody at some point.
It's whoever on Doc's back.
Yes, because he was looking at Doc a little crazy too. So Zenith hype is down 4 at home to Compton and seemingly rally to tie it up in the 4th. Will gets fouled hard and Phil calls out to the rest to make the call for an intentional foul. That's when a guy in the crowd tells him to shut up, and G flashes the blicky and bro backs down, leaving Phil to retort.
That didn't happen.
Leaving Phil to retort, yeah, that's what we thought.
I wish that's what happened. I wish Jeffrey actually flashed some shit, because what actually happened was they looked at him, the man put his hands up, and Uncle Phil said, "Oh, that's what I thought." Yeah. No, this means what's up. This means we teach your man how to squat. You know what I'm saying? That's what this means, not that's what I thought, Phil. Why don't you step your happy ass out from behind Jeffrey and talk that shit?
Well, he couldn't because Jeffrey said, "Yeah, what's up now? What's up?
That's
what's up
not
now?
what
What
happened.
you talking about? What you talking about now?" Oh, by the way, he caught that body too. So I'm just gonna add that into his list of bodies.
He didn't kill nobody.
We never saw that guy again.
He's an extra. He doesn't have a nameless character.
Yeah, we never saw him again though. Bah, bah, bah. Right before shooting his free throws, Will engages in some trash talk and asks the player if his mom still has those dimples on her back. Boo, unnecessary, corny, tomatoes. Why? Why is that? Why was that shot? Why was that added?
I just feel like at certain points where they feel the need to inject the colloquialisms of the youth, that they let them riff. Let them speak the way that they would normally speak with their friends. Because I feel like that was written for Jabari, and that's not something he would usually say.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he may allude to some crude joke about your mother, but it's not going to be, hey, she still got them dimples on her back. If she had them the last time you was hitting it, they're probably still there. So it's not even funny. Not funny. Not funny.
And
Yeah?
why would the kid know? Yeah, well, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I felt like I said, I feel like that joke was written for him as opposed to him just speaking or them telling him like, look, Will is gonna be talking trash at this moment. Say what you would say if you was on the park, like if you was playing pickup somewhere, like
your mother tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios.
yeah, some Kevin Garnett shit. That actually would have been hilarious because that's something that we all know about. Yes, yeah,
absolutely. Will and the team win the game, and Doc looks at Bro that they keep showing. I thought at that time he must owe him some money, which I guess maybe he does. I don't know. He owes him a player at the very least. Maybe.
Yeah. Either a player or he's fixing games, maybe is what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Tony Robinson says, why does Doc look like a Pee Wee League coach? He does. Technically he kind of is because they're not.
And it's a type of Pee Wee coach too. It's the usually the younger, cleaner cut. He always got a fresh ass tracksuit on. Yep. He never wearing the team merch. He always got something else on.
He fresh to death, but he ain't wearing none of that
talking. He claimed he the best, and can't nobody else make your kid better but him. He's a certain type of little league coach, for sure.
He is a pair of buffs away from being that specific person. That's all you need. Some shades or some shit. The Art Foundation sends Janice, a black woman, to handle the minute details of art shows and whatnot. But when they mean business, i.e., you talking big and bad on
so you caught that too. You caught that too. I was like, okay, so y'all done had Miss Janice over here overseeing Vivian this whole time. Vivian say something on the internet that makes her more popular. Now it's time to walk around Miss Janice and go offer her job to Vivian. Oh, y'all are snakes.
Yep.
Y'all are snakes.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay.
Snakes in the grass.
I was like, okay, big business. We talking like real shit. Okay, the white women show up. Okay, of course. But then they offer her the job, and then I'm like, damn, y'all gotta pit the two black women against each other? For real?
That's nuts that y'all sitting in here offering me this job. Like, that's crazy.
Crazy as fuck. G and Phil notice Doc and Homeboy arguing with each other, and Doc walks away and says he's out. G says he'll look into it, which means he's definitely going to kill that guy. R.I.P.
That's not what that means.
R.I.P. Lisa finishes tutoring someone, and Carlton walks in for his session, or so I thought. Bro wants that old thing back, so he hands her a swimmer's charm. He says it's because she's the one who encourages him to speak his truth, thereby allowing him to be a Founders Award finalist. He then kisses her on the cheek and dips out.
Do you think he's really trying to get back in, though?
I thought he wanted that old thing back, but by the end of this episode...
I don't think that's what he meant.
Yeah, I think he was just genuinely...
trying to be nice, like trying to be grateful, honestly. At least that was my impression.
Well, right away, I kind of thought maybe he might be trying to get that old thing back, but...
Well, but if he was coming on that strong, a kiss on the cheek screams fresh. That screams friendship. Yeah. That's a strong friend zone. If I'm comfortable enough to get that close to your face, but then I kiss your cheek, that's like quintessential friend language.
Sure. Yeah, they
so like I don't get that. I guess I could understand where she might have taken it that way, where she could be like, oh shit, he buying me stuff and talking all crazy. This thing want me back. Because, you know, women's egos are as big, if not bigger, than men's at times. But we're not going to talk about that.
Sure.
And so maybe they both got their wires crossed. Like he was just trying to make a gesture. She took more out of it than what she probably should have. Then in the face of all that, he trying to tell her this information about Drew, which is absolutely sending him into a fucking tizzy because you've been there every step of the way with this mongrel. And you sitting over here holding his hand and shit. What the hell is that? What's that about?
Yeah.
So it's easy to get your wires crossed when neither side has the full birth of information, you know, available to them.
Absolutely. Bro from the firm wants to pop bottles with Phil for one of their fallen partners. Phil wants to talk about the Garrison account, but Bro says this is about Derek, the partner.
Hey, now mind you, he's trying to talk to you about the Garrison account, And it's not necessarily about the Garrison account, but it's in relation to what I was doing to try to get the Garrison account back. Because in the midst of me trying to get that customer back, I ended up getting poached. So
I forgot about that when I saw the next part that we see from them. But
you know what I mean? Like, yo, I tried to talk to you about this.
That's fair. Okay, so my next few scenes with Phil are gonna have a tone, but note that I heard what you said. But I'm still keeping the tones. I'm keeping that same. Okay. Lisa's still looking at the charm when Drew pulls up. Will's hating ass sees Drew say one word to Lisa and has had it up to here. He pulls up on Carlton and lets Carlton know that it was Drew that leaked the video. Carlton apologizes and Will says... You should have been told me that, bitch ass nigga. You should have been told me that shit. You only telling me that shit now because you seen her with Drew, hoe ass nigga. This ain't about me. You not telling her for me. You not even... you don't even want me to say something for Lisa. You want me to say something for you. Ain't got nothing to do with me. He pulls up on Carlton and lets Carlton know that it was Drew that leaked the video. Carlton apologizes and Will says it's not worth shit.
Damn, what reason do you have to still be mad? If he's apologizing for accusing you for sending the video... why are you still mad?
Yeah. I don't know why he's been mad this whole time, but, you know, whatever.
Like, why are you mad at Carlton? What did Carlton do to you?
All right. Jeffrey's one-night fling comes to pop bottles of Viv, but Viv isn't exactly celebrating yet because she hasn't accepted the position. Homegirl doesn't see how wild the situation is and convinces her that she should get Janice the fuck up out of here. Afterwards, Homegirl seems to want to also get Erica the fuck up out of here, old school style. She wants to, and I quote, track that bitch down, key her car, slash her tires, drag her out that John Buyer weave, jump her, throw her in the trunk, and drive the whip over the Hollywood sign.
I don't feel like none of that was said. I don't feel like
legitimately 3 of those things were said, but then I took it. Okay. I took it left.
I was about to say I don't even know which 3, but
she said track that bitch down, key her car, slash her tires.
She's acting up. She acting crazy, and she giving all this wild ass advice, all this hype ass advice. She needs to be calmed down. Jeffrey needs to slide in there. I don't know what's going on. Why Jeffrey was in the house and she was there and they did not speak. Pick it up, writers. Give my boy Jeffrey a stepmother for homeboy to come back to.
Wild.
You know what I'm saying?
Ashley is in robotics class and she has to work on a project with Olivia, the same young Karen who got Tatiana Ali fired, I think. I think they
that's the same girl. Yeah, okay. Same girl.
Coco Jones pulls up on LaMarcus Alton at his crib. It's over. It's fucking over. It's over. She claims that she's there for business, but it's fucking over.
So the only hope I got is that this sets up a very good underdog arc, right? She goes back to her very rich, wealthy ex that woos her. And then right before he proposes, or maybe even at the wedding, Jazz pops in at the last minute and confesses his love for her. And she knows she want to be there anyways the whole time. That's the only hope we got at this point, bro. Because if that's not what's about to happen, she's a goner. She's a goner.
Absolutely.
She's a goner. He put her face on a billboard, fam. It's over.
You know what I'm saying? It's done.
Over.
Vince Carter, it's over.
The rap. Vince Carter.
Phil gives a speech at James's memorial, smiling in front of all of these people that he about to dip out on. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Photoshop on the memorial picture was absolutely garbage.
Nuts. Hey, yo, young Uncle Phil looks like Lamar Odom.
Oh, now I see where Carlton gets it from. Anyway.
Young Uncle Phil looked like Lamar Odom.
That shit was crazy. I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't know who's who. The only one you could tell was the guy who he works with now. That was the one person you could tell. Everybody else was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah.
Carlton sees Drew and Lisa walking while Lisa has on his gift, and Drew puts his arm around her. Then he kisses her. My guy immediately goes to a dark place and asks Lisa about Drew. He then tells her the truth about the video, but she thinks he's in love with her, which maybe, possibly, but that's not what's happening here right now.
Hey, Lisa. Cuffing the nigga who got his ass beat by Carlton has got to be the nastiest look you could ever have in high school.
Especially when you left with him.
So, I mean, there's a legitimate reason for you not to date him. He's a shitty person.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And you saw it right there live and in living color. Mm-hmm. And it happened to somebody that you happen to give a damn about. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, he got his whole ass whooped by a man who was about half his size. This is the nastiest look you could have. And you tonguing him down in the middle of the school? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. That's why I low-key feel like what Carlton said to her was valid. I'm just saying. It was harsh. It didn't need to sound like that. But it was the truth.
That what you just said gives credence to my next sentence. Carlton has watched one too many Manosphere videos and goes off on Lisa, pissing her off. He definitely watched Kevin Samuels. He definitely watched some old Kevin Samuels.
He told her she need to go get a high value man and stop fucking with these losers.
Hell no. Yes, that's exactly what happened. For sure.
She was like, you so desperate to get over Will, you fucking all these bozos. When are you gonna be a baby mama next, Lisa?
Not a baby mama, not Lisa. Tony Robinson says Jazz might date Ivy to make Hilary jealous. That's some get back.
I can see it.
That's some get back.
But okay, but if that happens though, then we know for sure Hilary and Jazz getting back together. We know that for sure, because Ivy and Jazz ain't gonna last, and I don't really think that LaMarcus Alton is all that he's painting himself to be at this moment.
For sure. So
we'll see how that comes out. I mean, this man is a NFL wide receiver, a good one, right? One with a name.
Yep.
So let's while he got home games. Oh, sounds great. Everything's beautiful. We're buying billboards. We're having dinner. We're showing up to family events. When he's on the road, week 8 in New Orleans, week 10 in Las Vegas.
He's smacking down somebody else, for sure. 1,000%.
Week 13 in Miami.
He's smacking down some Latinas in Miami.
Yeah, all right. Sure. It's gonna be a whole bunch of Hillarys at them stops.
You know what I mean?
We'll see how much he want Hilary.
Mike A says Erica was trying to get Uncle Phil on the casting couch and the hub intro begins. That's hilarious. Going back to what he knows best, Carlton hits up drug dealing Connor for a peace offering. Drew looks over for 1 second and already has this scene pegged out. The crazy assumptions that these teenagers make off of literally seeing a person for 1 second as they pass by is nuts. But Carlton going
like I don't know what he could have possibly taken from just seeing him talking to him at his car, unless he planned on following his ass and seeing where the fuck they went.
But at this point,
but I don't.
He's got nothing.
Yeah, I don't.
Will is texting Jackie and letting her know that he's on the way, and Lisa's car won't start. She denies his help and his ride. Apparently, she was going to the hospital to see her stepmom who's in labor, and then denies him again. After trying the car again, she reluctantly agrees.
Does Uber not work? I know you rich. You don't got Uber? Which is the same thing I'm getting ready to ask for another one of these characters later. You know what I'm saying? But we can talk about that in a minute.
For sure. Young Karen shows up late to the project with Ashley, and Ashley lets her know about it. She explains her side of what happened with Tatiana Ali, and the two of them become damn near best friends.
Because it wasn't really ever no beef. She didn't snitch on Miss Hughes. She was just jealous because Miss Hughes was showing Ashley more attention, which is still a little bit, a little bit of little caucasity. There's still probably a little bit of privilege involved in that, but it's not as nearly as sinister as what Ashley was thinking, giving us a nice life lesson about judging people and jumping to conclusions.
Yep. Carlton pulls up with drug dealing Connor to the most suburban trap I've ever seen in my life. The plugs.
So I'm like, yo, who? This your parents' house? They on vacation because we're this nice ass house and you just smoking it out like.
You know what I mean? It looks like the pool house from the original Bel-Air. The plugs got all sorts of drugs, and while drug dealing Connor expected to hit the drive-thru, Carlton decides he wants to sit and eat.
I really wanted it to be Connor pulling Carlton into some bullshit, But clearly, Carlton wants to go on a bender, so he's going to smoke weed, snort coke. I think they offered him to shoot something up.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure of that.
I swear to God, he said you can snort it, smoke it, or shoot it, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, I think he did say that.
Did we graduate to heroin? Is that where we at now?
Yeah, bro. Of course.
Yikes. I didn't even know Carlton smoked weed. I didn't know he was that excited by the weed.
Yeah,
Man, they had a dab rig on there. They no wonder why he woke up the way he did.
Coke
First of all, if he did all of that shit that was on that saucer, the weed, the coke, the dabs, and whatever the hell they were supposed to be shooting up, there's no fucking way he's waking up that night. He's not waking up in a few hours and be sober enough to talk to his mother.
Facts.
Ain't no damn way. Unless the coke was baby food, the weed was oregano, the heroin was powdered lemonade.
They cutting all the drugs. Every single one of the drugs is cut with some bullshit.
My man woke up in 2 hours, Josh, like he had a rough nap.
Facts.
Facts.
He had a better chance of all of it being cut with fentanyl, but whatever.
He would have been comatose.
Yeah.
Took his ass to the hospital.
Tony Robinson said Carlton is a zombie, which he absolutely is. Seems like Phil's remaining partner picked up on the same shit that I did because he's got some intel on what Phil has been doing behind his back. Phil seems to still be weighing his option because he didn't answer what bro brought to him at that point, but all right.
I mean, he didn't lie to him either. He didn't lie to him. It just kind of is what it is.
Sure. Hydroglyphic says bro had a nosebleed and then later lost his whole car and they couldn't put two and two. That's a fact.
Fail. I'm like, hey, yo, y'all some real forgiving parents. Because this nigga just pop up with a random nosebleed running off. And then all of a sudden now, I feel like Phil wanted to go in there and tear that ass up. And Vivian was really running protection for Carlton. Sure. But Phil was like, so you believe this bullshit? Like, for real? Like, you really believe this shit?
Oh,
Vivian, like, if we accuse him of lying now, Philip, he'll never tell us anything. Just like he ain't telling you that he in his room snorting coke.
Yeah. That's such a TV mom thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Despite all of this weird tension in the air, Will decides to go into the hospital with Lisa. Plus, he was supposed to meet up with Jackie. Not sure why that's happening, but all right, sure. He totally doesn't have to go into the hospital with her.
Damn. It was so many opportunities while he's sitting at this hospital for him to be like, hey, yo, I gotta head out. I'm gonna call you or I'll come back up. Anything. Anything. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Or just tell her, straight up, like, I'm not gonna make it. But he's stringing her along and then pretending like he forgetting. No, you're not forgetting. You are ignoring on purpose.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around and be like, oh shit, Jackie. No, nigga, you knew Jackie was calling you.
Tony Robinson says Uncle Phil wanted to sock Carlton in the chest. Viv pulls up on Erica Baker on some old gangster shit to have her come to Jesus. I thought that was gangster as fuck.
And then we got the backstory to what actually happened with Phil and Erica. So Erica, you heard LS? That's your soror?
We will get to it, sir. That is crazy, though.
That's foul.
Shiny Hair Fred didn't get the car fixed, and so Lisa is a bit upset, but bro has other priorities at the moment. Will gets Lisa some chips, and bro just can't tell Jackie for whatever reason he's not about to make it. LaMarcus Alton is surprising Hilary with gifts and shit already. She is gone, bruh. He got her a billboard on Sunset with a huge picture of her face on it. Bro puts it all on the line and says he wants that old thing back. And she doesn't really give him an answer right there and there. I was like, okay. What?
She didn't. And more hope for Jazz. She did not acknowledge the fact that they're no longer together. They was very clearly broken up in the last episode. And, he brings it up right here and there. It's like, hey, yo, I know you got a man, but I hope he keeping this shit together because I want you back. And she doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't go, oh, well, that's not going to be an issue anymore. Or it's not going to be as hard as you think. Huh?
She also doesn't dead it, though.
She doesn't. So she leaving it open.
Sure. Sure.
But I feel like if the door was all the way closed on Jazz, she probably would have said something. She would have just said
left the door open for everybody in this case.
Oh, yeah, she choosing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Phil walks in and lets his partner know that he ain't taking a position with Erica's firm, which is awkward because his lady is in her office right now. Viv asks Erica why she ain't come to her grown woman to grown woman. Apparently, Phil was giving her back shots while on break with Viv, even though they were both line sisters. Crossing the line on your line sister, where they do that at?
Hey, yo. I mean, I've seen it. In worse circumstances than that. But it ain't pretty at all, man. It's nasty, actually. It's pretty gross.
Carlton is snorting, smoking, toting, drinking, all while Kid Cudi is playing. Deadly combination. Bro wakes up and doesn't know what is happening. He looks for drug dealing Connor, and Bro is gone along with everybody else. That's when he walks outside and the Kia boys then got his car, a.k.a.
Despite this war in me, me.
I forgot all about that song.
Shout out to Man on the Moon 3.
For sure.
Hear me now, hey, this time I'm ready for it.
You gonna knock out some hums while you're at it?
And the story goes, hey, and the story goes, despite this war in me.
That hum was weak as fuck. Anyway, Viv asks what happened, and Carlton. Lets her know that he and drug dealing Connor were hanging out after school, and since Connor had a fake ID, he grabs some beers and claims he only had half a beer. Carlton is an awful fucking liar, and it looks like Viv kind of doesn't believe it.
Carlton, so we're gonna find out in a minute that you have been walking for or riding the bus or whatever. For a very fucking long time before your mom showed up. You had ample time before you even called her to figure out what the fuck you was gonna say. And the best you could come up with was Connor has a fake ID, which your mom is most likely gonna verify. And if it get back to Connor, you know he gonna snitch on you. So that's number one. And then number two, oh, I only had one half of a beer. I swear. Carlton? All this stink that you putting on this, I swear?
You know? Half a beer?
Like, and you know what? I would have never thought about this when I was a kid, when I was 16, 17 years old. But it makes so much sense to me now. How the fuck you think you gonna lie to somebody who been drinking for 20, 30 years about how much it take to get drunk? Nigga, I know what it was like to drink at 16. I know what it was like to drink at 18. I know what it was like to drink at 21, 31, and 41.
For sure.
Okay? You're not about to convince me that you got blackout drunk from half a beer. Did they put ruffling in it? Are you telling me somebody tried to date rape you? Did they put crack in the beer?
It was some drugs in there, all right. There's some drugs in the system somehow.
That boy swore up and down it was just half a beer and then tried to blame it on his meds. So he think he double slick. So he think not only is he going to get out of losing his fucking car, but now he's going to get off the meds in one fell swoop because it was just beer mixing with the meds, and that's what really messed me up.
Nah, fam. No. Now, all of a sudden, Lisa is happy that Will stayed because he's been supplying her with Jell-O. Does this hospital not have any actual food options? I've had some bomb-ass food at hospitals before, so I think that's bullshit. Anyway, Will tries to explain...
Yeah, hospital food is literally it's like akin to prison food.
No, I've had some great food at, I feel like Riverside.
At a hospital?
I've had some great food at a hospital before, yes. They had a food court. They had a whole-ass food court. It wasn't no
like
prison.
With actual restaurants in it.
With different options in it, but yes.
Because most of them have the cafeteria, but like unless it's like McDonald's and when that's not likely to be in a hospital. It's usually like the generic shit that they make, like school lunch burgers and shit.
Not at every hospital, because I've had some great food at a hospital before. Anyway.
I know it's like that at Mount Carmel and Riverside, so I don't know where you was at, where they was giving you good food.
There's definitely some good food in one of these Columbus hospitals. I don't remember which one, though. Anyway, Will tries to explain that he understands being the outsider and then holds her hand. Strange seeing shiny head Fred not shit talking or hating on Will, but at least Lisa wants to see her brother, so he's totally cool. Will finally
the return of shiny head Fred.
I was like, bro, he's not mad. He's not hating on somebody. This is weird. Mike A says Carlton did more drugs than the Halle Berry and Losing Isaiah, but Uncle Phil is a stand-up dad. You're a wild boy, my guy.
Uncle Phil is still a stand-up dad.
Yeah.
Don't blame that on Uncle Phil. Okay? He got his kids out here in this white school system and all these party drugs. You know what I'm saying? It ain't typical that we walk up in the first teen party and it's people doing coke lines in the back, okay? If you went to Beverly Hills Middle School, that was probably your experience. So lighten up on Carlton.
They should have had a conversation with them about drugs at some point.
I think so, but I think they were so focused on his anxiety, they're not thinking of normal dangers for any old normal teenager, which would usually be drugs and alcohol. They thinking about his mental state instead of just thinking about him being a kid.
Yeah. G is making tea for Carlton, and it gives me vibes of the scenes from Get Out where she makes homeboy tea. I thought that was weird as fuck. I was like, what is happening? Why is he looking at him?
I was like, yo, G. I don't know why, but why do I get the urge that you about to smack the shit out of Carlton for lying or something?
Why are you looking at him like that, staring him down and everything?
Like, he about to get this nigga a whooping or something. Why is he stalking him like that? That was crazy.
Yeah.
But he was definitely sweating him out for sure.
Yep. Phil immediately believes the story Carlton told is bullshit, and Viv is at the very least happy that he called her. G is watching bro all crazy, and Viv convinces Phil to not call Carlton a liar, but he's still skeptical for good reason. Also, Jeffrey has some news on Doc. Will thinks that after all this shit, he can just pull up on Jackie. Nah, fam, she went home.
She home? What you mean? Where's Jackie at? Don't you see this bitch closed? He's at home.
Brian walks in, and bro says he's there to get his shit. He then tells Will that Doc is not who he thinks he is. Turns out Doc isn't only pimping out his niece, but also players on the team.
Sending him right to the colleges that pay him. Man, oh man, oh man.
Wild shit.
So he just all around a crook. So he was taking most of the money from the players in perpetuity. Yep. And then he gets to control where they go to college, and then the colleges pay him.
He is playing puppeteer with these kids. He is controlling everything.
I felt like they was low-key trying to make us feel sorry for him when we seen him getting yelled at or when we seen the dude looking from the stands. I don't feel sorry for you. No. You the richest man in the room. You are winning. You winning out of everybody.
Not judging on where he lives, though. Just saying.
Well, you got to keep up appearances, right?
I guess so. Carlton goes to email drug dealing Connor, and G walks in with some good news. The car has been found. It was out of gas and had sand on the seats. G doesn't believe Carlton's explanation because the car was far away from where Viv picked him up.
10 miles away. Oh, Carlton, you's a fucking lie. You just a lie. Everybody knows it, and it's gonna come out. How the fuck you make it 10 miles? And here's an even more interesting point. Carlton would have either needed to take an Uber or a bus ride from that house that he was stuck at to wherever his mama picked him up at.
Yep.
Why the fuck you ain't just go home? Why? Didn't you just go home?
You know what, though? He couldn't do an Uber because he didn't have his phone. So at least there's that. But he still could have... Well, I think he gave him his phone and his wallet, maybe?
No, he did. He gave him his phone and his wallet because he immediately checks his phone after G was talking all that. Your lies are going to come out. You know that, right? You know that.
But then how did he contact his mom? Well, I guess he could have used somebody's phone. Some restaurant's phone.
It looked like he was in the middle of fucking nowhere. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot left up to interpretation here.
Sure. Will comes in to talk to Uncle Phil about Doc and Zenith Hype. Doc has been taking bribes to steer players to colleges and agents, and lo and behold, Phil knows everything because G is a hitman / interrogator of sorts.
You see what happens when you go out on your own, little nigga? You see what happens when you try to take control of your own life?
You know?
Come on back under Uncle Philly.
Yeah.
Come back under my wing, son. I told you. See, that's why I let you go. I knew it was gonna happen. Yeah. I knew it was gonna happen. I was just gonna let you walk out there like a sad little lost little bird. I knew you fly back to me. I knew you fly back. Come back, little bird. Come back.
That's nuts.
That's exactly how that shit happened.
Sure.
Oh, you mean him rigging games and sending players to college?
Yeah, no,
you don't say. That's how he did it.
Oh man.
Sit down, Will. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I've already got the jump.
A little weird for episode 8 to be at this point. I don't know. I just feel like this wasn't like a big splash.
Both of these seasons, Snowfall and Bel-Air, feel like they have gone super fast. I understand why Bel-Air feels that way because it's the last season, obviously. Snowfall feels that way. Yeah. But Bel-Air, I feel like we have gotten through this season extremely fast.
Yeah, and I also feel like some of the moments just aren't as memorable as the first season, though.
Well, so we got 2 episodes left, and so knowing that and noting that we haven't had too many explosive moments this season, I think we're in for some here in the last couple of episodes. What that means, I don't know. They'll probably have to do something to level up from last year's cliffhanger.
For sure.
That they left this one. I think this one is going to have a little bit more to do with the family's relationship as opposed to Will's. I don't know if we'll get any answers on the Jackie, Lisa, Will love triangle, but in terms of Uncle Phil and Vivian navigating their new career paths and their own relationship and what that means, you'll have Carlton and his drug addiction. You got Hilary and her relationship with Jazz. You got. Do you think Ashley's new friend is her new friend or her new girlfriend?
It won't matter because we won't see either one of them for the next 2 episodes.
I was actually kind of happy that they gave her a friend because let's give her more reasons to speak.
She had friends in season 1, and they haven't.
But they got rid of them. They got rid of them. She got a new friend that we didn't spend all season looking at. So maybe she's going to play a bigger role.
Nah.
Maybe. I don't know.
But Doc and Jackie and all them, obviously.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah. So,
and is Jeffrey ever going to get back with his boo thing again, man? Like, she finally show up in episode. She don't even talk to my nigga Jeffrey.
Or mention him. She didn't go
or mention it. Yeah, didn't even bring him up.
Jeffrey? No, she's too busy trying to slash tires. She did.
Yeah, trying to be toxic.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Bel-Air season 2, episode 8?
Man, I think that's about it for me.